Hey guys, what's up? So, what is CORS? CORS is basically cross origin resource sharing. So, to understand CORS, we will take an example, right? So, let's imagine you have a secret clubhouse where you and your friends from the same neighborhood are invited to hang out. But now, someday, what happens is that case someone from a different neighborhood comes over and wants to join the fun. But you have a rule: only people from your neighborhood are allowed unless you say otherwise. Similar things happen in the computer world. Course is a bit like the rule for website. Imagine each website is like a different neighborhood. So website often need to talk to each other, right? Just like friends from different neighborhood want to play together. Now if the website tries to ask another website for something, like borrowing a cool game or trying to ask for some information. For example, let's say you are using a news API, right? So you want to get some news from that API, fetch data from that API and use that into your website. So what allows news API to give that data to you? That is course. So like this keeps the website like gives some restrictions. You can say this allows some restriction to the website also. Not all websites can access the data, and also keeps the things safe on the internet. Without it, any website could ask for the information or use things from any other website without asking, and that could cause chaos, right? Because say example ki, let's say you have a website and other like lot of other websites are trying to make requests to your website, and then what will happen at some point of time? Your server will crash, right? Because a lot of requests are incoming, and also you don't want to allow every website to make requests to your server. So this is like in this thing cost comes into picture. So here's a documentation that I've opened, and I don't want to go through the entire documentation reading it because that would be a very tedious task. So what I would do is I would go directly to this image and explain you what is happening here. So let's say domain.com is a client and it's trying to make a request to the domain.com server. So here the origin is same, right? Domain.com and domain.com. So here the access will be directly given, right? There would no be calls won't come in picture here because it is of same origin. Now let's say example ki domain.com is making request to web server domainb.com, and here, like if you are seeing the origins are different, so calls come into picture because it is cross origin request, right? So let's take another example also. If I go down, yeah. So here, what is happening is that there is a client HTTPS put example, which is trying to fetch some JSON information from the HTTPS bar.other. So when client, that is a browser, it makes the request. So what all data it sends, like what will the request contain? So it is this, like from which origin it is being originated. It is originated from footer example, browser name, host, and what type of request it is get, right? In language, these all it is thing. It is listed in this thing. Now when the server responds, so what all will be included in that? So if we allow, like if that footer example is allowed to access the data from this bar.other website, right? So you will found here that access control allow agent is mentioned as star. This means that any other website can access the data from this bar.other website, that is server, right? So in the response, you can see here HTTP like 200 OK, that is the status code, and then you can see that here access control allow origin is mentioned as star. Star means any other website can access to this origin. But if you wanted to restrict this access to this only photo example website, so how can you do that? What you will need to do is that you need to provide this HTTPS photo example website here instead of a star. You need to provide it here, right? Like this. So like this, you can restrict access to this photo example only. If you wanted to apply it to any other website also, then you can mention those website here also. Okay, you can mention that array and it will be applied to all those websites. Like that, only those websites will be able to gain or fetch data from your website. So this is how course work.